Justin Marshall, but they took the gamble.
Yeah, I agree. Ian, I think the opportunity there was to take the three because they've had so much ball, so much possession and territory and pressure on the Canadian defence, but they haven't really turned that into points. That was a chance to get some reward. As you would have thought, would have been able to bang it over quite comfortably from there. But they're not out of the woods yet, Canada. You know, all this pressure is still mounting on them, and they need to produce something to get them out of trouble that they're finding themselves inside their 22 a lot.
Crouch. Touch. Pause.
Fairhurst gets it in. Off the back goes Carpenter. Good run by the number 8. That certainly took a bit of the pressure off. Fairhurst. Oh, Kleberger's lost it. And he seemed to lose it forward. Yes, he did. And so now Japan have a golden opportunity right in centre field.
Well, that's Tanaka again, though. The reason I mention it is the halfback can come right to the back of the scrum and is a good defender there. When he leaves there, he leaves his flankers very vulnerable, and he makes his 10 have to turn in a bit in case his flankers get beaten. I think he's just going too early and letting Carpenter and co run into that area, and he needs to just bide his time a little bit because it could cost them eventually.
Well, the key man here is Ryan Nicholas. He's directly behind the number 8, about 10 metres back. They've got Webb and Robbins. Robbins very strong off to the left.
Good solid scrum as Kikutani lifts it away to Tanaka. Back on the inside, Nicholas right there, placing the ball. Now it's been snapped up. And Japan are only 4 metres away. Going wide again, even wider. Oh, the pass, the last pass. And the referee was playing advantage again. And Canada were offside. But Japan could have scored in the corner. The last pass went astray.
Well, how did it? And you can see there the captain, Kikotani, he's looking like he wants to go for the scrum or the line out and wants to keep the pressure on. He's a superb player, Kikotani. Reading a little bit about him before the game. I'll go on to that in a minute. This is the pass. It's just a catch. Oh, he just got too flat. Just got too flat, Endo. It was certainly on. Yes, Kikotani, he scored the most test tries, second only to Shane Williams since the last Rugby World Cup.
Incredible. There he is there, number 8. Canada get an initial drive going. Now Japan will be careful to protect this. Now the ball has to be used. So Tanaka works it off to Arledge. Arledge on the double. Pops it up. Endo.
Beautiful.
Oh, magnificent.
Really nicely done. Do not underestimate how good a job Ryan Nicholas did here. Arledge is the man, obviously, that it looks like set the try completely up for Endo. But also, it was just a beautiful ball from Nicholas because he drew the defenders in and then set it up nicely for Arledge to come round, who hit it at pace and then timed his pass perfectly.
So much play around Ryan Nicholas, isn't it? But the great interchange with Arledge, the direct run from Kendo, who seconds earlier could have scored in the corner. Well, he's forgotten about that now because he's right under the bin, and Japan will get 7 out of this, and they deserve it, Justin Marshall. They've had the better of this first half.
Yes, they do, Ian. It was the straightening of Arledge, and that's half-time, and a great time to score, Grant.
Yes, try has been converted. So 2 tries to Japan, 1 to Canada. 17-7 at halftime.
Well, they'll be pleased, Japan, to have got that try because they were the ones who were applying all the pressure for the last 20 minutes of that game, and Kikotani decided to go for the touchline, as he had done a couple of times, and they got the reward.
So 17-7 half-time here at McLean Park in Napier. Japan have the lead. They scored 2 tries to Canada's 1. They did have the wind in the first half, but that is a good advantage. Beautiful Tuesday evening here at McLean Park in Napier, and what a good game of rugby we've seen so far from Group A at the Rugby World Cup. It was Canada who struck early, very early, when Van der Merwe scored. That was converted by James Pritchard, but then Japan scored the remaining points. Hori the hooker scored pretty shortly after Van der Merwe, and then we saw Endo under the posts just before half-time. So 17-7 represents a pretty handy sort of a lead, and this is the Japanese dressing room And Mick Byrne there, who's the forward coach, having a fair bit to say.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he'll just be trying to reinforce that they continue to do what they've been doing so very well. Look at the territory they've got, which is really interesting. It's 66% territory, but that's not from kicking, it's from running the ball. And that is what is very, very hard at the moment for the Canadians to combat. They've got no territory whatsoever, but they've got enough possession. So they're playing too much of their rugby in their own half, and that's because the Japanese are running at them, and they're running at them hard, particularly through the centres, and they're struggling to cope with it.
First half highlights of the game, and a big start by Canada. Funderburg looked like he was going to score in the first couple of minutes. He got up and went again. He thought that he might have made it, but great defensive work by Onizawa. But they stayed down there, Canada, and Funderburg, well, it was a missed tackle by Endo, and Funderburg scores.
Well, then we see Nicholas come into the game. Tupa Ali, who had to leave the field, he was the man who went down. He offloads to Nicholas, and then there's the little hooker Hori who goes down the blind side. They went to the TMO, but they really didn't need to look at it for long because he was over. Great attack, and the centres are cutting them open.
And Japan just continued to keep the attack going. Bryce Robbins here, and Nicholas and Robbins causing all sorts of problems in midfield for Canada. And they spent a bit of time hammering away. They finally won themselves a penalty, which was converted into points by James Arledge. And then Japan are happy to run it from anywhere.
They certainly were, and that's what they've really done particularly well in the latter half of the second half. A lot of the attack has come from inside the 22. Nice hands here. Webb just got pushed out, but the pressure was starting to mount on the Canadian defence. And finally, they succumbed. It was a lovely set piece and beautiful pass to Endo, and in they go and were rewarded for all their pressure.
Well, there have been some mighty tries scored in the first half. Japan looking for their first win at the World Cup. Canada looking to repeat their win over Tonga. But at half-time here, Japan ahead 17-7. Japanese side have just 40 minutes left at the Rugby World Cup in 2011. They're on the field, keen to go. And let's hear from their coach, John Kerwin. He's with Ian Smith.
Which on the side grew in confidence, good for the 10-point leads. What's been your...
you know, we'd like to speed up the game, but we need to stay disciplined. A bit low around the rucks when we're defending. We feel if we can speed up the game in the next 20 minutes, we think the next 20 minutes is fundamental. Make sure, good discipline, speed up the game and be patient.
Looking good in midfield.
Yeah, I think, you know, if we can hang on to the ball and be patient, we're throwing some good things at them. Next 20 minutes, fundamentals for them.
Good on you, mate. Thanks.
Cheers.
Thoughts there of John Kerwin. He'll be very pleased. 17 points to 7. But there's still plenty of work to do. Just having a quick look around, Ian, any changes there?
Yes, there is. I've just been advised that James Pritchard won't be coming back on, so that knock Grant in the first half has spelt the end for him. So back we go with Connor Traynor in 22 on the right wing, Evans to fullback.
Okay. Jonathan Kaplan, the referee, checking with both sides. They are ready. And we're all ready to go. Second half here at McLean Park in Napier. Japan against Canada. Japan with the lead. Oh, Canada made a botch of that. They were looking into the sun, but I'm not sure that was an excuse. It was just a complete breakdown in communication.
Well, they had trouble with that in the first half, but it's in exactly the same zone around O'Toole and Kleberger, and they just both looked unsure. See there, Kleberger thought, oh, it's gone over my head, and O'Toole said that should have been yours. And as it is, they've shelled it, and they've given up straightaway territory, which they struggled for in the first half. And they're going to be up against it at the start of the second. And John Kerwin, as you heard in his message, big 20 minutes he wants from his troops.
Well, they've got a midfield scrum, but the back line is basically all gone right.
So Tanaka gets it in and rips it away for Arledge to Nicholas. He's been really strong today, Ryan Nicholas. Now here, oh, that's a thumping charge by Vatava, and that hurt Munro. That really did hurt him. He's reeled away. He's going back in the defensive line, but he'll need a little bit of time to lick the wounds, I think. So Tanaka, there he is again. He's a bruising player, Vatava. And they're inside the 22. They look as though they mean business as Arledge drifts across. Here's Endo, the try scorer, just before half-time. And Ball is there. It might have been turned over here. It has been. Canada have got it. And away goes O'Toole. Good break out by Canada. They've helped themselves a lot here by turning that ball over quickly. Now Munro, who still looks a little ginger. He got the kick away. Now Webb. Hasn't got many mates here. Sean Webb, he's going to have to be careful. And he's run into a black wall here. And it's a maul, so he'll try and get it to ground. Tanaka reaching in, and he's done pretty well if he's got it to ground. It may just emerge. This is where you need to ruck it with your feet. Not allowed to, of course. Oh, that pass is forward. It was a great idea, but it was forward.
Oh, it was such a good ball, though.
Let it go, you reckon?
Yeah. I know you can't do that, but it was so clever from Nicholas. Vatave.
Take the ball out quicker. Don't stand there like
Munro
that.
didn't like that, did he? And why not? Look at that. He's just gone reeling backwards from the big man. Here's Nicholas. Look at this ball. Oh. Don't be too disappointed, Ryan. That was almost perfect.
Ryan Nicholas, 32 years of age, but playing as well as ever by the looks of things. Ed Fairhurst for Canada, held in the back by Aaron Carpenter. Now off it goes to Munro, and good run here for McKenzie, slicing through. McKenzie still going. Phil McKenzie, what a try.
Beautifully orchestrated set-piece try again. The scrum was nice and solid. McKenzie, though, you'd have to say, even though he got put in a bit of space by his inside, it was his speed that caught them out. He went around Bryce Robbins. Here's the ball from Munro out the back. Couple of manipulating players in the centre, but it was just pure speed in that got him there.
Well, Justin, you love this because it's been a very good night to be a bleach blonde, hasn't it? Just wonderful set piece when they come off. You just love it, absolutely love it. And he got round Bryce Robbins, despairing tackle, wasn't quick enough to turn and get him. And that is a superb start and finish for Canada, and particularly in the early stages of the second half.
Well, the key to it working was the pace he hit the ball at. So the manipulating was done. Munro hit him, but he was at full speed when he got that ball, and they just couldn't get to him.
Munro from wide out, and no good. But a super try scored by left winger Phil McKenzie, his 4th in his 12th Test match. And boy, did he have some work to do.
Oh, he certainly did. But he hit it at so much pace that they just couldn't get near him because they were all static.
So back to halfway as Arledge again into the sun, and Canada have lost it forward again.
Yeah, you knocked it on.
Well, they're not going to have to put up with the sun for the entire second half, but it is going to be over there for a while.
I think he was unlucky there, Cudmore. It looked to me like he had actually got the ball and then got it dislodged as he was bringing it down. So watch him here, number 5, the big man. He goes up, he's actually caught it. Oh no, he's dropped it, so I'm wrong. He's let it go. He's professing his innocence, which absolutely sucked me in. But he just dropped it, plain and simple.
Touch. Pause. Hang it.
Canada, as John Kirwan said at halftime, play the game at pace. That's what they're endeavouring to do. Beautiful pass to Robbins. Just needed someone off his shoulder. Couldn't quite find him. Here is Vatuvei. Fires a forward pass to Hatikiyama. Well, they cutting some capers in midfield.
Oh, they are. Vatuvei, he showed us before what he can do with the ball in hand. He needed to keep it there. They were over the advantage line. But watch this ball from Nicholas.
I think both, mate.
Sits it up perfectly. Robbins was off his shoulder. It was very well defended in the finish, you'd have to say.
Middle.
Trainer who made the tackle and shut it down. Vatuvei, he had to carry there. He had to carry.
6 minutes gone, second half.
Look at those offloads, 11 to 6.
Yes.
11 offloads in the tackle.
Touch. Pause. Pause. Engage.
Blimey, could he put that under the number 8's feet? That's about the worst I've seen. I've seen a few.
Looked perfectly normal to me.
Yes, of course it would. Oh, dear me. Have a look at this. Oh, no.